You're good, Sue.
Okay. All right, so we'll call this to order. Thank you, Seth. It is 6:33. Welcome, everybody. I think everybody knows each other, so maybe we can skip over the introductions. And hopefully this will be our last Zoom meeting. I don't know. Maybe by July we'll be able to go back to the library. Why don't we start with the approval of the minutes? Did everyone get a chance to look at those?
Yeah, Sue, I looked at them and they look good, and I move approval.
Second
that, or one of us.
Okay.
So
All
are
those
you
in favor?
taking notes?
Yes.
Or? Aye.
Yeah, I can take notes, Gina, no problem.
Okay.
It's easy when I'm doing this. All right, so the May EDC minutes were approved. I don't believe we have any new to approve any bills or anything like that, do we?
I vote aye in the
Do we?
minutes, by the way.
Oh, sorry, everybody, I hope did. Fran, Gina,
Yep. Aye.
yes, thank you. Kyle, do we have any, I lost you, sorry, you moved around. We don't have any bills or anything. Sherry
No bill.
hasn't sent me anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. So I see Karen's hopped on, so we will just get going here. Welcome, everybody. This is the last meeting for the fiscal year. So in July, we'll begin again with the budget, which is great. I'd like to begin the year focusing on how we can do the most good with the funds that we have. So over the last couple of years, we approved many things that have helped organizations in their efforts to foster economic development. We tried to bring business organizations together to create a more cohesive group that could work towards the same goals. We've had some successes, and we've definitely have more work to do. I had the pleasure of getting to know a lot of these business leaders and understand that they're often under a lot of pressure, just running their own businesses. So it's difficult for them to devote much time. We learned that through Scituate Loves Local. We've learned it through the visitor center. It's really, it's tough for them, along with to completely support the Scituate Visitor Center. Tonight, I'd like to intensify the focus of EDC for the next year to include all the business associations and the chamber. Now, I have to say that the chamber, we've had a representative from the chamber for as long as I've been chair. And I think I could count on one hand how many times the chamber has represented itself at EDC. So we're going to have to fix that one way or another. Same with the Harbor Business Association. We've had various people step in and out of that role. But anyway, I think we need to be working closely with the Harbor Business Association. It's our main business district at the moment. And I'd like to identify and prioritize the needs down there. We've been told by many times, we've been told that there is considerable vandalism in the harbor. It's not a good look for EDC, for economic development. We have to figure out what it is. What is, Fran, I've heard it from you. I've heard it from Marie. I've heard it from Nona's. I've heard it many times, but nobody can tell me anything specific. So I'd like to really hone in on that, because we need to fix it. The Scituate Harbor Cultural District Committee is doing what they can to enhance the harbor with a proposed mural down there with a selfie station that should be coming in the fall. They're providing music at the bandstand, car shows, the arts walk in the fall. And I'm just thinking there should be a plan for lighting, more benches, remove the broken benches, seating around the bandstand, more trash cans, restrooms. We're actually working on the restroom idea right now, so hopefully we'll have that resolved soon. If we could just develop an overall plan that's sustainable to encourage people to come and stay and shop. The visitor center is working to promote the town, and we need to be ready to receive the visitors in an appropriate way, in my view. I think we need to work with the chamber to support their main event, that Heritage Days, which brings business to Scituate. You know, can EDC advocate for them to get funded through the town for what they bring to town? So that this is what, for example, See Plymouth has done with their organization. They have gone to the town and demonstrated what they bring to the town. So that's just one other thing that I think in North Scituate, we've been working on the sewer. I can't wait to hear what Karen says tonight. If anything, when that happens, and of course, nobody actually believes me when I say it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. It will be a game changer. And, you know, so how can EDC help the North Scituate Business Association prepare for the next phase? I know some of them are worried about what the landlords are going to do once they have the ability to, you know, do new buildings, and, you know, what's the rent going to be, and then all that kind of stuff. Can we get the owners and the businesses together in some kind of forum? In the meantime, why is there not a restaurant at Jamie's? These are questions people ask me. You know, or why does it remain such an eyesore? The question to EDC, are we open to authorizing some financial support to the North Scituate Beach Business Association? You know, through events they're doing to generate business in their. I mean, this is economic development in the smallest in the smallest version of what we can do, but it has an impact. Greenbush is developing. EDC was behind the rezoning effort. Now we should encourage them to develop a business association, so we can, you know, sort of have our hand in what's happening down there, at least the pulse, keep the pulse of what's going on. We have a farmer's market. That's the little engine that could. We gave them money a couple of years ago through the chamber. They have moved around a lot, and I think they're doing well, but how can EDC help that organization grow? Other towns have tremendous farmers markets, and they bring people, they draw people in from other towns who then spend money in other businesses in town. Why aren't we doing that? My takeaway the last couple of years is that we're still disconnected from each other. Not completely, but if EDC doesn't take the lead in organizing, then everything will stay the same. It'll just be the same. Not bad, but not as good as it could be. We have huge opportunity here, I think. We can entertain the residents as well as visitors that the visitor center is promoting. The town is now promoting. They've dedicated a lot of funds to push tourism in a very controlled way in the town. So I feel like we need to make a plan in the next year, focus on building bridges and really zeroing in on it. So we have a lot to do, but we have plenty of hope to get it done. And I know, Karen, you've been super supportive as Kyle has and everybody here has, but I think we just need to take it to the next level. You can hear my frustration. that we've done a lot, but we still need to do a lot more. And I think the next year we can get a lot more done, hopefully with COVID a little bit behind us. Hope we can get going. But the last thing I wanted to say was that Jack McInnes and Matt this was their last meeting. I wanted to thank them. Maybe they'll just, watch this this recorded meeting, which I doubt very much. But I wanted to thank them officially for their time and their contributions. So we could maybe jump right to Karen Canfield. I assume you have 3 other meetings this evening.
Always fun. I always want to start with you guys, though. How are you guys?
Yeah. Great.
Let's see, town updates. So tomorrow night, the board is meeting. I just, before I get into that, are we scheduled, Kyle and Sue, tomorrow? 5 o'clock still?
That's great, yeah.
Okay. For those who don't know,
Yes.
the 3 of us have been meeting every other week just to compare notes to make sure that, each hand knows what each arm is doing or something like that. Hopefully Seth can edit whatever I just said. So we have a select board meeting tomorrow, and a couple of things I just wanted to highlight that you guys should know are on the agenda. We're meeting at 6:30 I don't know if there's a remote option. Didn't see it on the agenda. We are interviewing Paul Midori, who is interested in joining this committee. He's first. I think he's one of the first things on the agenda. We will also be discussing our water and sewer rates, which is never fun and never popular because they will go up because of the investments we're making to improvements in both of those infrastructure systems. But most importantly, probably to you guys, is that Heritage Days permits will be on the agenda for review and approval by the board. And I was surprised when I looked at the backup, and you guys probably already knew this. I didn't realize that they're proposing that the whole event take place in Cole Parkway and not close Front Street. Yeah, I missed that
same as last year.
along the way.
Yeah.
Are
It worked
you
out
guys-
really well for them last year.
Oh,
that way.
didn't they close Front Street at all last year? I must have been out of
Nope.
town because I missed that. Okay, cool.
Nope.
Good. I won't make a fool of myself tomorrow going, oh, I don't know. That's a big change.
Yeah. No, it worked out really well for them.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you guys want? I don't know if anyone's attending or if there's anything I should be aware of in the discussion tomorrow before the vote is taken that you guys want to add to that?
Well, my conversation is always around the public, the police and fire that they have to pay DPW.
Yeah.
And again, if there was some way they could get on, and I mean, I'm advocating for them. They've never even asked me about this, but I think when they continue to come to EDC or anybody else for that funding, it seems like, and I think Jim is of this mind as well, that the event does provide a community service type of thing. Now I know, so could it be possible for the chamber to get into the budget? Now, obviously it's not going to happen this year.
Right.
So to fund that public, the DPW, fire, police, it's about 20 grand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense to me for them to come to us and then them to give the money back to the town.
Well, I know it doesn't make sense. It's one hand is feeding the other, but it's accounting wise, it just has to be done that
Yeah.
way. But you're right. The other solution is to have it as a budget item somewhere. Without it being a
Yeah.
budget item, Peter has to pay Paul. If we keep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
house. So I'm making note of that. Yeah, it's just frightening to me that I'm already starting a whole list of things for our upcoming budget discussions, which are gonna start at the end of the summer for fiscal 24.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Yeah,
good. I
wow.
mean, it's much better to have the list now than go, crap, why didn't we put them in the budget? So I have made note
Yeah.
of that in my budget pit pile here. Okay, so we will we'll go over that tomorrow. Maybe I'll mention that when we get to that part of that conversation. Kyle,
Yeah,
can tell you-
even just to float it.
yeah, I mean, we got to start the conversations. Kyle, I'm sure will be able to tell you that the hazard mitigation plan is up for final approval by the board. It's been a long process, and this is a step necessary before the final approval from, is it MEMA?
Actually FEMA.
FEMA, from
Yeah.
FEMA. And as Sue just noted, the end of our fiscal year is June, 3 days away. So we can reset and start our
Mhm.
fiscal 23 budget. I think I already told you that special town meeting has been moved up to September 19th. Primarily,
I
that's
heard
much
that.
earlier than normal. And that is because the timeline for the water treatment plant is critical. And that was the bad news today, is I don't know, Freya, if you've seen this yet, one of the track backs in the water treatment plant is on the fritz, which means half of our output has now stopped from the water treatment plant. The folks who know how to bubble gum that together are coming in tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to limp it along until we get a plant built. Well, we have to limp it along until we get the plant built, but that's been today's headache. But you should be aware that, depending on what solution is found tomorrow by the engineers, we may have to go to, depth level water ban situation now, which will be awful.
Wow.
We're going into 4th of July weekend, but we don't have the water, we don't have the water. So that's fun. And the other, let's see, I have notes all over the place. Something that I really think would be great for EDC to participate in the conversation about, and I think we'll talk about this more tomorrow, is there seems to finally be a tipping point in the conversation about parking in the harbor. And there's a lot of different ideas being floated that will require vetting, obviously. But like these things do, it's like I'll get to North Scituate Village sewer, but it's like North Scituate Village. It's not going to be changed overnight, but if we don't have it as the focus and the topic, it's never going to change. So I think that we really are at a point in where everyone's really focusing on that. So, ideas are being floated at this point, but we're going to have to, this is going to, I think, be led by the planning board. A lot of the things that will really be near-term solutions are going to have to go through their review. But I know you guys are on the ground looking at this stuff, but it's definitely becoming.
Well, Karen, maybe it's part of this whole sort of outline of what needs to be done in the harbor. I mean, if that's our, our best asset in the town for visitors to come to, there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. So maybe that's one of the things we talk about tomorrow.
yeah, I
How
think,
to outline what.
right. I think we just need to get down on, piece of paper, all the ideas. Jim Bedreau,
Yeah.
I hope, I don't know if you shared with Fran. The more I think about it, I don't think it's gonna be very beneficial. But one of the things Jim kicked out was, why don't we use the town, not the town dock, but the boat ramp, the public boat ramp parking at night, and do a water shuttle over to the Mill Wharf, which would be fun, and then B, would be a lot more parking in the evening. But it's like every other idea. When you really stop and think about it, it doesn't get dark till later. The boaters are still using it. I'm not sure that's going to vet out, but those are the kinds of things we got to just throw everything on the table and just see if we can come up with some relief, because it's going to inhibit bringing more businesses down there if they can't find parking.
Exactly.
Anyway, those are my things on my list. Yep, that's all I have on my list. Oh, water.
I just wanted to bring up the vandalism thing. Fran, can you be a little bit specific with me too about, because we can talk about it tomorrow when I meet with Karen and Kyle.
Yeah.
Marie shared a few things with me.
We have vandalism. It's almost invisible to most people down there, but I have a very small building, and I'm spending over $200 a year just in screens. They seem to be making a home of the steps of the old theater. And it's not any one particular group. It seems like there are several different groups. There's a skateboard group. There's just a bunch of young kids. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of concern about what they're doing or how they're gathering. But it's amazing how destructive they are to what's going on down there. Trash. They're constantly in front of Rocco's playing around with all the stuff Frank has a nice setup with tomato plants, and people can take a tomato if they go by there. But the kids kind of mess it up. It's a shame because if this mural comes out, which they've been talking about, and I was talking to my landlord there about the location. They're all excited about this and about making that section of the Cole Parkway area and Front Street into a kind of a real a showcase. And I think we really have to get a handle on some of this extracurricular activity that's going on down there. And maybe an extra. I know there is a walking beat cop down there in the summertime. Maybe if he walked a little more in those areas, it might help. But I don't see it as being insurmountable. It's just that we have to attack it and do something about it.
Can I ask a related question? Who like maintains the bandstand? I don't know if it's vandalism or if it's just falling apart, but I looked at it
Falling
yesterday.
apart.
It's kind of scary. I mean, I honestly thought someone took like an axe to it because there's just wood falling out of it.
I think it's scheduled to be, is it rebuilt or rehabbed pretty soon?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got some CPC money.
Yes,
Okay.
it's already, I know, Gina, it is falling apart. It's not vandalism. It's
Okay.
been scaring me for a couple of years. Every time they put a band up there, I'm like.
Well, I'm glad to hear because, like, Sue's talking about how, the harbor is our biggest asset. And I think the bandstand is a huge asset, brings people down there every Thursday for the music, the car shows, like every month and stuff. And like, that's such a beautiful thing to have. So I'm glad to hear that that's being addressed.
I'll check the schedule on that one. I haven't asked in a while. I don't know if you know Kyle, but probably not.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'll check the status of that.
Karen's fault. You mentioned North Scituate sewer. Give us an update
Uh-oh,
on that.
am I frozen?
Yes.
I got a second issue I want to bring up too.
Well, okay, so Sue and I are both very not, let's say, we're a bit, I'd say we're pessimistic about the regional conclusion, but it is inching in the positive direction. So there was a meeting 3 weeks ago, I think. I've lost kind of track with, no, not even 2 weeks ago, with Cohasset sewer commissioners. They asked once again for another meeting. But it was definitely baby steps in the right direction. It seems we finally have a consensus with all three communities to move forward. I say that very cautiously. And the next step, and I talked with the town administrator this morning, and he's in the process of schedule. I think everybody's in the end of their fiscal year, so they're not going to do anything this week and the holiday. But they're going to schedule a meeting to get a physical agreement together that will allow us to start actually designing it, because there is still money left. So we are not giving up on keep pushing to see if we can get regional, because it is the opinion of this town and of Hull, and I think Cohasset's coming on board, that we will miss a huge financial opportunity if we do not go to the state with a regional plan. So we're moving on that. It is moving at glacially slow pace, as we all know, but it's still moving forward. So that's good news. Meanwhile, and Kyle can tell you all the details about it, but we are full press on Plan B, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in the water and sewer rates discussion tomorrow, because Plan B involves investing more in our sewer system to get more I&I out so that we can accommodate North Scituate. So we're doing both. I'm more optimistic at the moment that we'll see a resolution internally, but I remain hopeful that we can move the needle even closer. I think with the sewer conversation, Paul, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, at some point, and I think we're close to that point, honestly, we're going to get to a tipping point where everyone's all in and there will be backing out. We'll fight and squabble over who pays for what and, you know, how did this look and that. But once we get to a certain point, it will be happening. And I think it'll be the incremental is designing it will be the first step, and then applying for grants to pay for it will be the second step. I think once we get to that point, it will happen. So until then, I'll just keep saying we keep pushing. But we're much closer than we were. That's for sure. A year ago.
Yeah, I mean, the regional plan, any version of it is by far the best
By far.
option. And I think you identified if the Cohasset Sewer Commission isn't on board, it's not gonna happen. So I'm glad you're talking with them directly.
Yeah, and I think that they have, you know, they were concerned that there wasn't enough value for their community to participate. And I think they're realizing, you know, that there are things in there that will, you know, they have a really big problem with nitrates in the harbor, and this will help them.
Right.
You know,
Well,
so
and as you said, you know, the who pays for what part
mhm,
would be very simplified if there's a substantial amount of grant money, be it state or federal. We're
Yes.
in an unbelievable rare time when this kind of money is available for wonderful projects like this. So that's the thing that's always worried me is we'll dither and dather on a regional basis, and this funding opportunities will slip by us.
that's exactly the drum we keep banging every time we meet with them. Is like and Jim is very forceful in his discussions with his counterparts. Is if we mess around, we will miss this opportunity. And we're close to that point because they have to commit the money in the next couple of years.
Right.
So
Hey, that segues to another issue I'd like to bring up. Another important agenda item for the select board is the establishing the warrants, I think, for the September town meeting.
yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that yeah, we are closing the warrant tomorrow night.
Yeah, so first, the water treatment plant siting decision, that's huge. You know what? I've had the opportunity through Scituate Community TV, and you know that Seth helps with and the town website, you know, to follow this whole saga. And in my view, and I've got some experience working on water treatment plant projects, I think the town's been very transparent. The information's available. You know, you can go to the Water Resources Commission meetings, meet Freya and the rest of that commission do a remarkable job. You know, it's fact-based. And we've got, you know, Woodard Curran is a very nationally known firm. I work with them in California on projects. The information is there if you want to look for it, and if you don't want to look for it, we have very dedicated elected officials and in the select board and the water commission as well, and as well as a consulting team. So I think we're getting a great product, and I think the siting decision will be based on facts and analyzing the alternatives and, you know, what makes sense and all of that. I participated in the listening session, was last week, and I think, you know, that's really good to do. I think the town has listened, heard the comments at town meeting, and I hope and expect that the next iteration of the plan, you know, addresses all the issues that have been raised and responds to them. But, you know, one area that I think is I'm concerned has been neglected is the current site of the treatment plant, of course, cannot accommodate the new plant just with size, but also you have to, as was pointed out at town meeting, that's our water treatment plant. That has to keep operating until the new plant comes online. And so you can't take the old plant out and put the new plant at the same place. It doesn't work that way. So it just makes the current site just unusable for a new modern water treatment plant that's going to carry us, generations forward. But I'm concerned that we haven't focused enough on the use of that current property when the new plant goes into operation. That's a gateway to Scituate. And I would hope we look at, there's an existing Little League field there. We need more Little League fields. It'd be nice to consolidate Little League operations more. I'd like to see the town work with the Little League to develop a recreation plan and to have at least a concept plan as a warrant to be voted on at the September town meeting. So that important aspect of the whole project isn't left behind. And and I know you're closing the warrants tomorrow, but I would hope you could at least have a placeholder for a recreation plan for that existing site. I mean, that, again, like you drive by the Cohasset Little League or, baseball fields on Main Street or North Main Street. It's really impressive, and it really gives you a sense of what kind of community you're coming into. And I'd like to see the same for Scituate at that existing site. So that's something I hope will happen, and that the people who support recreation will have an opportunity to go into September town meeting and show that support.
Yeah, I think those are really good points. I would hesitate to promise a site use there because we will not have time between now and September to really do that analysis, and reality is 5 years out. Oh, Ray, sorry.
No, I'm okay.
Hi, Ray.
Hi.
The reality is that any use of that site's 5 years down the road. So I would be really hesitant to make promises about what that site's going to be because we haven't even begun that conversation. But your point is very well taken, that it will be a reuse opportunity, and we know what we need for municipal land, and that should be part of the presentation. Just like when we bought the land at Stearns Meadow, one of the things we said was we want it for municipal because we don't have a lot of land. And one of the things we're looking at is this might be a good site for water treatment plant. I think it would be entirely appropriate to say something similar, saying, should the town approve the development on Stearns Meadow, that will render this site a new site for us to consider for future things, which may include a Little League field, whatever, we'll have to think about that. I mean, there are no shortage of people that are looking for places to put things. I had 2 people call me about where can I put a pickleball court? So it needs that needs to have a lot of conversation. But I think you're absolutely right, making sure that people understand that there is a that you move A to B, that means A has another opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. I think rallying folks who have other interests is a very good idea. And making sure that we get as many voices as possible to town meeting to have a balanced conversation about this decision. There will be on, I think it's July 13th. I haven't heard the confirmation of that. Another town discussion. Kyle, do you have more details on that? Which will show, like, if we keep it here, this is what happens. If we put it here, this is what happens, to really show the alternative sites.
I don't have any information on that, no.
No, all right, we have to get that. But I'm pretty sure that, we had the listening session, and I think what they're doing now is it's going to be an interactive map, so you can see, why leaving it on you can do it on the existing site and you have to phase it over. It'll take 5-6 years. Because you can't, as you said, you can't just turn off the plant and build a new one. You're gonna have to like take down the admin building and put something there, and then sort of, it would be an engineering nightmare and you would end up with a lesser plant. But we need to show that to people, and we need to educate people that, you know, that those are the problems with that site and why we're not recommending it. And that I believe is happening on the 13th, but I don't know the details yet on that. Yeah, I mean, I hear your point, and I think that it's important to get as many people who are invested in seeing this get approved as possible in the room. So let me think on that one a little bit, but I really do think it's premature to say this is a great site. I mean, we can say this is a great site for more fields, but we can't promise it yet at this point. I think we'd paint ourselves in the corner, because who knows?
But at least you're planting the seed
Yeah, 100%.
that may get people to think, oh, wait a second, maybe this is a good idea, or I want to
Right,
support
'cause
this.
I think you're right. People know when you come around the rotary, that's the first thing you see, but you're not thinking, oh, what could be here? It's big, and we need to do that. Maybe
Yeah.
we do that as we outline, if we remove it, we have X number of acres. You know, something so that people have a sort of sense of how big the site is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Did you have anything else, Karen?
a lot of notes you guys gave me, that's.
Um,
No, that's
uh,
just the water treatment.
Is
plant.
there anything new with the Jamie site?
Just that we put the fence up and gave them a nice
Yeah.
clean. No, I don't have an update on that.
Okay,
We'll talk about, we'll ask Kyle, ask around. See if we can get an update tomorrow.
okay,
You're talking about the tax, his
yeah,
arrears?
yeah,
I know, as I
Yeah.
said it before, you know, when somebody's in arrears, it just takes a really long time,
yeah, I know. I know.
so.
Okay, Kyle? I actually have a couple of questions for you, just based on reading the notes from last time.
Mhm.
And maybe we're gonna talk about some of this, the train canopy project?
Yeah, that has been awarded. And so that's underway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and, the kiosk?
The kiosk, I haven't, have we tracked down the actual kiosk?
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
it's down the
so
street, Greenbush.
We have it?
It's sitting at Chick Fagan's place in storage facility. I
Okay,
told him we'd pick it up. That was about 6 weeks ago.
all right, great, yeah. Let's move on it then. We can put it wherever you want.
Okay, we're gonna have to probably talk about that one
Yeah,
tomorrow.
good item for tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. Porta potties?
Porta
North Scituate?
potties, yeah, we just have to go out there and find the exact location, but Nancy's ready to move on that contract, so we're gonna use the
Okay,
existing contract and money already somehow is available.
Yeah, okay, good. We
Uh,
won't ask
yeah.
any questions.
Porta potties has become a big issue around the harbor. Mainly with the visitors, but on the launching ramp, Cole Parkway, there just doesn't seem to be enough places for visitors or anyone else to go.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder if we could mix it with the new site somehow, Paul.
So we definitely have the harbor master building, right? To
Yep.
use those while they're open.
Yeah.
But it does seem like I've heard the same thing, Fran.
There were several porta potties at Jericho Road launching ramp. I'm not sure why they're not there this year, but I believe someone is working on that.
Mhm.
And there's just a lack of any facilities really for anyone downtown.
Okay.
Harbor Master is gracious. I mean, they have opened that up, which is good,
Mm.
but that's only one location.
Okay, that's what I had, Kyle. Sorry. Whatever you're gonna say is, sorry.
Yeah, no, we're chipping away at grants and specifically around the harbor. So we have the RFP, all the applications are due by Friday for Pier 44 for the design
Okay.
of that property. And in the meantime, we've actually applied to the hazard mitigation grant program. As Karen was saying, the final approval is with the selectmen tomorrow night, but once that gets approved by FEMA, we can get awarded for this grant we're applying for now, but it's basically to double the funding available for the Pier 44 property. So
Okay.
we're going after that. We are putting the RFP out for Cole Parkway design. So we just finished that RFP. We also just submitted for a grant to your point, Sue, about lighting and benches. We are applying for a grant to enhance the existing harbor walk. So we're basically gonna apply for a lot of money. I think it's like $500,000 to do a comprehensive.
Where were the benches and lighting applied for?
This is, you had mentioned, I think, that down the harbor, I think you said that
Yeah,
you'd like
yeah,
to see more
yeah,
lighting and benches. So yeah, we wanted to kind of take the harbor walk. It's great what's been done so far, but we wanted to take the vision to a whole nother level. We think we could really beautify that area with lighting and benches and more wayfinding, and go from the lighthouse all the new piece of land that we're gonna own out on Sunset there. So it'd be like a complete wrap around the harbor, beautiful walk is the vision. And so we've applied for that. We applied for North Scituate beach nourishment for $2 million.
Oh, yeah. What
So
happened there?
we submitted. So
When is that?
when?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, when are you supposed to hear?
I don't have the exact date, but I think it's within this month. And
Okay.
that'll be $2 million. So we feel good about that. That was a lot of work. I think there's some other grants. Just starting to lose track of them all. Yeah. But if there's
Kyle,
any-
is the beach nourishment one, is that one that you have to match? The town has to match?
Actually, no, there wasn't any required
Okay.
match. But we did
Okay.
put in some match for that. So that $2 million, there was a match in kind, plus we're using some foreshore protection money as a match.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, so feel good about that one. But again, that will only cover a portion of the entire project. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And then in regards to
Okay.
the sewer, we're just, my office is really just waiting for direction. And as soon as there's clarity on what everyone wants to be done, we'll just start applying for the grants and get us some money to make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, put together based off of what you sent me, a job description for an intern for
Mhm.
EDC to use specifically for whatever they want. And I took that job description and put a little more into it and sent it off to Bob, Human Resource Director, and he's gonna post it. So that's exciting. I think that might be, I know there's more, but that's what's coming to mind right now.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Kyle? No, we good?
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Thank you, Kyle. So Chamber's not here. Ray, do you have any reports for the sister city?
I do. I actually have, if it's all right, a little update on Sister City activity and back to the Heritage Trail, which, we discussed at the last meeting. So, and I'm kind of new at this, but, and I'm getting a lot of my information, of course, from Brenda O'Connor, who's terrific.
Yeah.
The sister city exchanges are back in the works, and what they are, and you may be aware of this, is 10 sophomores from Scituate would go over to Ireland for 10 days, and that would happen this coming St. Patrick's Day time frame. It's going to go in front of the board, I believe, August 15th on the agenda. And what happens is the students are chosen by apparently the superintendent, the principal. Kathy Schwab is in charge of exchanges. And so we're kind of excited about that because, you know, that didn't happen during the pandemic. And it's open to, you know, all students if they can afford to fund their own. It's, I think, $1,500. But if they can't, we have a scholarship fund of $8,700. We'd like to increase that to $10,000. So we're discussing a couple fundraisers. So that kind of brings you up to date a little bit on Sister City. And then segueing into the trail, and some of this you heard last time from me, but Brenda has given me a nice outline. And just to kind of repeat some of this, this started off where the Irish government donated to us $15,000. The Commonwealth, $10,000, which is what we started with. And then about 3 months ago, this was put together so fast. See Plymouth, we worked with them, and they received a grant for $90,000, and it's going to be spent, or pretty much has been spent, solely for the benefit of the South Shore Heritage Trail, again, encompassing the 9 towns from Hull to Plymouth. And that money covered, the website is up, the website expenses, postage, printed material, because each town is going to have their own brochures, and they're quite nice. We're really proud of that. And then eventually signage. Also in the works is going to be a comprehensive brochure that has a map that you can follow through all 9 towns. And it's like over 30 sites. And what they're trying to do with the map itself, for example, would be not to just put you out, not that there's anything wrong with this, but on 3A, but come through North Scituate, you know, so people, even though, you know, they may not be stopping there, we're hoping they will. So right now, I think all our expenses are pretty paid up to date. We've also joined 3 organizations: See Plymouth, the Irish Cultural Institute of New England, and the Boston Irish Tourism. And they were pretty excited that we're going to be part of that. And they're going to market and publicize the South Shore Irish Trail through Massachusetts, New England, Eastern Canada, and Ireland. We also have advertising spots that are going to start now, end of June, and run through mid-September on 4 radio stations, a TV station, Press Irish Echo. I'm not really familiar with that. And there's a WROL live stream in Ireland. So, you know, that's all set up, and it's going to start pretty soon. One thing that I thought was exciting, they're going to do an 18-second, I know it doesn't sound like much, on Good Morning America. So, you know, they're really trying to get the word out about this. I don't know, Sue, if you've received Brenda's letter asking for the $1,000
I did.
investment. Okay. And, you know, we're hoping there won't be any problem with that. also as a follow-up, see Plymouth and Sperling Interactive, which we've been working with. They're our website developer. They're going to try to gather statistics, over the next year to see how effective, this whole program is. And I don't know how they do this, but the money spent, through the trail towns. And again, one of the goals is obviously to increase tourism. And I just have to say, like Hull, all the towns have been cooperative, but Hull is, just as an aside, absolutely delighted. Cohasset was the first one to jump on board. We've had to prompt Duxbury a little bit. We're still working on that, but we have all our pictures, all our sites, all the brochures are done except for the comprehensive one, which with the map, which should be done pretty soon. And what it breaks down is that per town, with all the funding and everything, it's about a little over $12,000 expended out of all those, grants and funds and things per town. So things are moving along. The committee has really done, I think absolutely great work. I'm just a little part of this, and I'm a latecomer. So, a lot of this was in progress, but, we're quite happy with it. And we just hope that it, proves out to be the results that we hope in tourism and, bring people interested in all these towns. So that's my report.
Well, thank you very much, Ray. That was very
You're welcome.
thorough, and I know Brenda's pushing information your way to share with us, and I did receive the request, but I don't have any money yet. So
Yeah. Well, we know,
we're going to take that
we
up.
know that.
Take that up in July.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay, great.
yeah. So we're good. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Paul, do you want to go share anything about Shark that Kyle didn't already tell us?
Yeah, I don't think Kyle covered Pier 44, but yeah, we're in an exciting phase of that project. We have a bid opening, or bids are due June 30th for the design consultant. Proposals are due. And Treese May and I will be on the review panel for those, along with the town, Kyle and Corey and others at the town. We had a pre-meeting, a meeting with the firms that want to make proposals out at Pier 44 a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess. And I think there were 15 or 16 firms represented at that meeting, and Kyle and Corey gave a brief presentation and then answered questions and walked folks around the property. And I would say I attended, and I'd say there's a lot of excitement and energy about the project. The review committee will make a recommendation in a few weeks. But let me turn it over to Kyle just to kind of clean up what I said and just talk more about that.
Yeah, no, you said it well, Paul. Basically, we had an amazing turnout. There was 17 firms, and they'll be submitting everything by this Friday, and then we'll have a review committee looking at it. And yeah, we're excited. All the design teams were really excited. They were very engaged and asked great questions, so we feel confident that we're going to get an incredible team designing this property, which is great. So things are going well. Paul's doing a great job leading the process.
Well, we'll see about that, but it's as we all know, it's a beautiful property, and when that building's taken down and it's all opened up, and we extend the harbor walk and have, flood protection, resiliency, and just iconic place for families to come for generations, and a real gateway to Scituate Harbor. I think we'll all be really proud of it.
Paul, I don't know if you heard me say that we are applying for another $400,000.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
that'll be good.
appreciate that. Yeah, so it'll be, part of the thing will be what's the design, what's it going to cost, how much money do we need, and all that. And really thank Kyle and Corey and for all the leadership, and Jim, and of course the select board. So we're going to bring home a really great project.
Great. Thank you, Paul and Kyle again. Fran, do you want to talk about the visitor center?
Yeah, I'd love to. The visitor center is, it's becoming more and more exciting as we go on, and we're on a bit of a summer autopilot cruise control right now. The reason I'm excited about it is because we spent a lot of time and accomplished an awful lot in less than a year over the winter with a lot of volunteers. Put together what I consider to be a premier, fantastic website with almost everything you need to let people know what's going on, events that are happening. We've kind of highlighted without advertising most of the restaurants, shops, and any kind of an offering in town. It's on a cruise control, but I think what we're doing right now is we're kind of saturating the area with what we're doing. And with a handout and a window cling, we're being very well received. The window cling has a QR code, so you can take your iPhone and you can put it up there, and the website will come to you. Part of the website is also a visitor's guide online app, and between Linda Ferguson has helped us a lot with that. She has a little bit different version, but we're on the same idea of presenting everything there is to offer in Scituate, and that is becoming very popular. People are discovering what we're doing and the website. They're realizing we're not competing with the Chamber of Commerce or the business entities in any part of the town. We're enhancing everything, which is kind of nice. And I think it's being very, very well received that we're an independent operation pushing everything that's good about Scituate. Advertisers are becoming very interested. We haven't got a formalized advertising program yet, but I think I'm looking forward to the Heritage Days period of time this summer when we're going to make a big push on the visitor center, what we're doing, the advertising opportunities, and maybe even a membership type of an organization where people can get on board and help us with what we're doing. It's a great idea. It's worked out great. I'm kind of like the rubber meets the road department. Sue has got a lot of the political end up in town hall, and there is another aspect that maybe Sue might want to talk about with what's going on with a video.
Yeah, the video came out. It was very well received, and we got a lot of hits on the website. We got some emails, some questions, about, can you send us this? Can you send us that? But we're leading them to the website because everything can be answered on the website. So the million emails are going out. We finished the demographic stuff. I worked with C. Plymouth on this. Fran, I haven't even talked to you about this, but we worked with C. Plymouth. They helped us. They kind of guided us through who we should be chasing and advertising to us. So they, again, were phenomenal in helping us do that. It just, it comes so easily to them. They look at this geofencing and all this stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. And they gave us that. Then we put together the body of the email. Karen, maybe you saw it. Did you? I don't know who they shared it with. Okay, so it was probably Karen and Jim who they shared it, who Michelle shared it with, just to get a sense of like, give us the okay type thing. So So that's good. Everything is pointing to Scituate and then pointing to, no, everything is branded Scituate, but points to the Scituate visitors. So we're in good shape. So that email will probably go out on Thursday. So it's really in the works. Yeah, I don't know who's going to be receiving and responding to the 2 million emails I might get after that, but one step at a time.
Mhm.
But as Fran said, it's going well. It is running sort of on autopilot. All the people that are involved are, running their own businesses, much like Fran is on the water most of the time. So so we're doing well, but we do need, again, I think I say at every meeting, we are hoping to build the board up in September. So so that's the thing that I want to keep putting in people's minds. We need a marketing, person who has some marketing experience. Someone maybe has some accounting experience and, that kind of stuff. So we're still a work in progress, but we're doing pretty well. I think that captures it, right, Fran?
I think so. This is something I think that Scituate has really needed for a long time, an independent operation that was highlighting Scituate as a tourist location, as a place to go, as a place with a lot to offer. And it's working out very nicely. It's in its infancy, but it's growing very quickly. And I've been excited, really proud of what we've done with it so far.
I mean, I have been through the harbor a couple of times each weekend, the past 3 or 4 weekends, and it's been busy down there, really busy. Now, I know a lot of residents and the restaurants are drawing a ton of people. That's just the way it is, I think. So it's good. But we need to get all those other things I talked about earlier, the lighting and the seating and the vandalism and everything taken care of. So one thing at a time, I guess. I'm just impatient sometimes.
We're going in the right direction. I think that's obvious.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Fran? So Linda is not here.
I just want to ask the status on the mural. I mean, you referenced it earlier. I just don't know where
So that's coming through cultural with Patrice and Michelle Segesi and Marie Flaherty and a few other people on that committee. And I attend as EDC. So so they are putting out a request to a group of people that they can that are muralists, and they've talked to the Fran's landlord there next to that owns the Adamo building, and they've also talked to the couple that own the hardware store. So Marie very cleverly did some photoshopping and showed some possible murals on each of these buildings and these locations. And part of the thing is that you want to be able to step back and look at it. So we have to be careful where it goes. You don't want to be standing in the middle of Front Street. And we also want to, create a selfie station. So this is really going to be quite an interesting piece. But like if it were at the hardware store, they could do it at the top half of the building. So if you visualize what that looks like, it could be on the Cole Parkway side. And so the vandalism would be nearly impossible. They'd have to get a ladder or a helicopter or something to come down and vandalize. The other one, we thought about the side of the building, the brick, that maybe we could do it halfway up, from the middle to the top. So the same thing, and maybe bring a selfie station down from the mural, so that it would just be one section. But included in the cost to do it will be maintaining it. They usually last around 5 years. So, but both of those people are very interested. So that committee is moving ahead with some more plans on that, details. It probably, their real goal would be to have it be being worked on in the fall, around when the arts walk is, which is, I think, October 1st or 7th, I'm not sure. So that's it. Got it? Okay. So Amy is not here because it was the last day of school and she was having a party. And Matt is on vacation. He did send me a report talking about Widow's Walk. I don't know if anybody has been to that restaurant, but I have. It was pretty good. It was fun. It looks great. Talks about the construction ongoing. I think everybody's been driven through there pretty regularly. It's very, very busy down there. Untold and Greenbush Package are teaming up to host another beer garden at Heritage Days. So that's good. And Untold, you probably have heard, are opening up a second location at Derby Street with who is the caterer that they were? Is it,
Clandestine Kitchen.
Yeah, yes. And that's all he really reported, and he'll be there. He'll be at our meeting in July. So that's that. And who else? And no one from the Scituate Harbor Business Association. I know that person.
I did just want
And
to
I
say,
think that's, yeah, go ahead, Gina.
I was gonna say, it's so exciting to see new businesses coming into town. So I tried out the Harbor Nutrition. That's
Oh, yeah.
new in the harbor. They were really nice in there. I also got a little sneak peek of the wine bar that's going in. Just a
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool vibe. Just very cool vibe. I think they said they're gonna open beginning in the fall. They were getting some furniture and things delivered. I've been following them on social media, just seeing their journey, putting it together. But I think that's going to be a great addition. Salt Society expanded as well into the space next to them. And then I saw in North Scituate, there's another new business in that it was like that white building next to the train lot. I think it might be like a florist. I forget exactly what it's called, but either way, it's just exciting to see all these new businesses.
Oh, the restaurants
Yeah.
in the harbor right now are really driving everything. The excitement around, I was amazed that the Chopsticks and Forks is doing fabulous.
Yeah.
Salt
Yeah.
Society is getting rave reviews. The Nutrition Center. It's just amazing how much activity is being generated by the restaurants alone. It's absolutely great.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
And
good to see.
even the Bohemian Boho, I feel like she's always got people in and out of there. And like you said, Fran, Chopsticks and Forks, I feel like their patio was filled, and
Yep.
it's just so great to see everyone out again and enjoying the harbor.
Out and about. Yeah. 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 Well, okay. Does anyone have anything else? No? Okay. So our next meeting will most likely be July 18th. Unless that's a holiday that I don't know about. And we'll probably be back at the library. So, I don't know what happened there. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
Before we do that, one other issue. Linda Ferguson was very concerned about the way her name has been recorded.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think happens? Like that Susie puts it in the minutes, the correct spelling,
Right.
but then I think Sherry, no, not the minutes. Is it always the minutes that it's wrong?
It was the agenda that had it wrong this time.
It's the agenda, because I think Sherry corrects it.
Okay.
It's, so I gotta talk to Sherry. Yes, I did see that.
Okay. That's all.
Yep, okay. All right.
Move
someone make-
adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?